Dr. Matt Siracusa here with Green Dental Care. As far as wisdom teeth extractions go, I know it's one of those things that can be kind of intimidating. Our number one goal here is to make sure that you're comfortable throughout the whole procedure. We typically will do that by having you come in to do oral sedation along with the wisdom tooth extraction. That involves you coming in about an hour before the procedure. We'll give you some medication that makes you nice and sleepy, has an amnesia effect. Make sure that you're comfortable. And then once you're nice and sedated and comfortable, we'll go ahead and get those wisdom teeth out. How long does a wisdom tooth extraction take? Typical, wisdom tooth extraction time for our office is, there's the sedation portion, which usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour for you to get comfortable and sedate. Once we feel like you're in a good place, we'll put laughing gas on. We will get you nice and numb. And then the surgery typically takes 30 to 45 minutes for me to get those wisdom teeth out. And so immediately after, the surgery's done, we'll bring you out to, whoever's picking you up. Because of the sedation medication being on board, you're probably going to go home and just sleep the rest of the day. We'll make sure that you have pain meds on board, antibiotics on board. During the sedation, we actually give you a steroid to help kind of with some pain right away. Typical recovery time for wisdom teeth, again, you're looking at probably peak swelling pain 2 to 3 days after surgery, and then everything kind of starts to taper off from there. The typical recovery period, you're probably going to wake up looking like a chipmunk, 2 to 3 days after the surgery. Again, that's kind of peak pain, peak swelling, and then everything tapers off from there. I typically like to see you back 1 to 2 weeks after surgery just to make sure everything's healing up okay, remove any stitches that we had to place, things like that. But again, typical average recovery for you kind of feeling back to normal is usually 3 to 4 days. So as far as brushing your teeth goes after wisdom tooth surgery, you can brush right away, just kind of avoiding those areas way in the back. You just kind of want to gently brush. The biggest thing you want to do is avoid any sort of vigorous swishing with mouth rinses or spitting, because we just don't want to disturb those sites and cause something called dry socket that can be really uncomfortable. Ideally, if you're young enough and we see that the wisdom teeth are coming in and we can catch them early, I typically recommend trying to always get those out. Where things kind of change is that if you're older, if your wisdom teeth have fully grown in, they aren't causing any problems, then I'm not going to recommend you get them out unless they start to cause issues. If you or your teen think they need wisdom tooth removal, the first step, get scheduled for a consult. We'll have you come in. We'll take a special x-ray that shows us exactly where the wisdom teeth are. We'll go through our treatment options, sedation options. If it's something that we feel comfortable treating here in our office, we can go ahead and get you scheduled to get those out. If it's something that seems a little more complex potentially, we may have to refer you to an oral surgeon. But either way, if you get scheduled with us, we can get you those answers and we can go from there.